Many people are accusing this man, Eddie Hairston, a McDowell County trash hauler, of dumping garbage illegally in rural McDowell County. But before we set out to talk to Hairston about it, we decided to go back to an illegal dump we found yesterday, a dump where we found a possible connection to Hairston. We discovered a letter there addressed to a local student. We contacted her family, who confirmed Hairston hauls their trash. We went back today and found 4 more pieces of mail addressed to 4 different people. We contacted those people today, and all said they didn't dump their trash illegally, and all 4 say that Eddie Hairston picks up their garbage. Armed with the mail and that information, we went to talk to Hairston, who, by the way, called us and told us he wanted to tell his side of the story today. But when we arrived at his office, he changed his mind. He did, however, deny that he's guilty of illegal dumping. He told us he dumps his garbage at the Mercer County landfill. When we asked him to show us receipts, he said they weren't at his office, but at home. This is Leslie Branch Road, and about 1.5 miles down this road are 2 illegal dumps that local residents say have popped up in the past few weeks. Now state investigators say they're going to look into those dumps, and they've asked us to give them this mail that we uncovered among some of the garbage bags today. They say it may later be used as evidence. The Division of Natural Resources today confirmed it's investigating Hairston, looking into this dump site and several others. They say if he's responsible, he may face criminal charges. The 2 homes that burned yesterday received heavy damage. There is little rubble to even sort through. And today, Bramwell Mayor Don Murphy was doing his own damage control after firefighters raised concerns that at times they didn't have enough water pressure yesterday.
Well, to my knowledge, there wasn't any lack of water.
But that's not what Bramwell's volunteer firefighters told us yesterday.
And we're having trouble keeping water pressure built up in order to get water down this far.
Didn't have enough water pressure. We still don't have enough water pressure.
I can't control what he says either. But being an observer on the scene 3 different times, I didn't see a lack of pressure or water.
To me, if you weren't there fighting the fire and handling the hoses and doing that, could you really make an accurate statement?
I said I was on the scene 3 different times. I did not observe this.
Bramwell's firefighters weren't the only ones complaining. A Bluewell firefighter today told us water pressure was definitely a problem and told us they couldn't even get water out of one of the hydrants. And there's the question of this videotape we took yesterday.
No water.
Water pressure problems or not, firefighters and the mayor agree on one thing: the houses were too far gone by the time crews arrived for them to have much of an impact. But it does raise questions about what will happen the next time.
I think we have ample water. We could use a lot more.
If you've ever been to the Greenbrier, you've seen the beautiful decor and know about the resort's attention to detail. But what about those details you don't see? Well, the Greenbrier has it all, including its own historian, Dr. Bob Conti.
And then this is what I document everything with.
And we caught up with him in a private archive room.
I wrote the history book. Pretty much what's in the book is based on what was here. The photos are from here.
Conti researches Greenbrier history, and one of his best sources are these guest registers. Unfortunately, many were thrown out in the 1940s.
I was looking up here. Now here's Isaac T. Mann, Itman, West Virginia, from Bramwell. Yeah. Some of your, here are some Capertons. This is W. Gaston Caperton of Slab Fort.
This was in what year?
We're still in 1914.
And with the recent death of Rose Kennedy, Conti did some checking and found where she and her husband Joe had signed in 81 years ago. Speaking of famous families, what royal couple has an outstanding bill here at the Greenbrier? Well, word has it, the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. They were frequent visitors of the Greenbrier and reportedly often stayed without paying. How much did they owe? Well, that will remain a mystery. And Greenbrier President Ted Kleisner says former First Lady Nancy Reagan also had a love for the Greenbrier.
Well, and Nancy Reagan loves the color red, and particularly enjoyed the presidential suite.
At least 23 presidents have stayed at the Greenbrier, and in some cases, in a roundabout way, the Greenbrier has visited them. In 1989, the Greenbrier's chocolate shop delivered 10,000 of its famous handmade truffles to Washington, D.C. for George Bush's inaugural dinner. And since we're already at the chocolate shop, we had a question. How do these workers handle working with these vats of chocolate?
Oh, no, you find yourself every once in a while.
And you drink a lot of water.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Drink a lot of water?
Yeah.
And eat a lot of chocolate?
Yeah.
New diet.
Yeah.
This is something you normally won't see, renovations. Believe it or not, there are 32 painters on staff now, and they're busy.
So you're on the 6th floor. This same scenario continues all the way down to the 3rd floor. We have this whole wing out of order.
When it comes to the status of the war bunker here at the Greenbrier, the subject isn't necessarily off limits anymore, but the actual access to it still is. No reporters ever been allowed inside, and won't be until the government gives the okay. And don't think we didn't try. We put a call into the Pentagon to see about getting access. The answer, a definitive no. Is West Virginia's next governor going to be from our neck of the woods?
The answer could be yes, even though the latest candidate has never held a political office before. If John McBride, footsteps of Hewlett Smith and Clarence Watson Meadows.
Both of West Virginia's senators voted against a constitutional amendment to balance the federal budget by the year 2002. Robert Byrd and Jay Rockefeller joined 63 other senators in defeating the measure today. For Republicans, it's the biggest defeat since they captured control of Congress. Democrats insisted the issue was their fight to protect Social Security from the budget-cutting wars. Republicans strongly denied they would cut the program.
The battle continues. Millions of dollars in assets.
Today was supposed to be trash pickup day for many McDowell County residents, but once again, their trash was left out in the cold.
To be picked up.
All Marina Church wants is to have her trash picked up. She says the last time the garbage truck rolled through was January 27th. Unfortunately, her family's not alone.
It's not just here, it's in Skygust, it's in Gary, it's in Havico. Articles have been written to the Welch Daily News and the Ridge Runner complaining about the pickup. It's, you know, it's just not a wintertime thing, it's all year round.
Eddie Hairston has a contract to pick up trash for several McDowell County communities. According to the State Public Service Commission, Hairston's supposed to pick up their trash once a week. The problem in many communities is so bad now that people have taken to piling trash in abandoned buildings and even on top of buildings to control what they say is a growing health hazard. Church says she doesn't have enough cats to keep the mice and rats away. She and others from several nearby communities have sent a petition to the State Public Service Commission. Officials confirmed they are investigating Hairston and whether there's a connection to several new illegal dumps that have been popping up. We checked out one of those dumps today just off a winding dirt road near Gary. And in this trash dump, we happened to stumble on a letter addressed to a local high school student. We called the girl's family. They say they didn't dump their trash there. Who picks up their trash? They say Eddie Hairston. We paid a visit to Hairston's office in Gary. Hairston wasn't there. A truck he claims is broken down was there, but residents say their trash troubles have been going on for several months, long before that truck broke down. The Public Service Commission says it is investigating Hairston, but says no one's applied for a permit to haul trash to replace him. So if he's stripped of his duties, residents might have to take their own trash to landfills, and there's speculation that if that happens, many people will resort to illegal dumping.
A bill to yank power away to 1992.
Also in Charleston today, another step towards stomping out tobacco use in communities across West Virginia. Members of the group known as Tobacco Free West Virginia met for their first meeting of the year. Their two top priorities are clean indoor air legislation and keeping kids away from tobacco.
The tobacco industry recruits youth. They recruit approximately 3,000 youth every day to tobacco use, and we know that once started, it's an addiction that lasts with people for a lifetime, and so we're trying to at least protect West Virginia's youth from tobacco.
The group is made up of 18 coalitions from across the state.
Straight ahead on the news, Mr. Grossmouth pays a visit to a local middle school.
We'll find out his mission in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned. Beyond the lottery, gambling in West Virginia don't seem to mix. Less than a week ago, riverboat gambling took a turn for the worse. Now a bill to legalize gambling at the Greenbrier may be dead, although some lawmakers aren't ready to give up the fight just yet. News Center 6's Anna Cadet has the latest.
For people with disabilities.
The American Cancer Society says 90,000 Americans will be diagnosed with oral cancer this year, and nearly 9,000 of those people will die. That's why students at Bluefield Middle School got a visit from Mr. Grossmouth today. It's part of a tobacco awareness program. The model shows the effects tobacco can have on the mouth. Nurse Sherry Winfrey says it's never too early to start explaining the potential results of tobacco use.
Statistics would show us inside their mouths.
Winfrey says the biggest misconception about smokeless tobacco is that it's a safe alternative to smoking. Well, Sherry's off tonight. Hopefully, well, I shouldn't say hopefully, but not having her baby.
Not yet.
She's under the
not
weather.
Yet. She's,
right?
she's feeling a little on it. Well, I was off yesterday.
You'd be home boiling water if she were having a baby right now.
No, I'd be at the hospital letting someone else boil the water.
Before you go to the hospital, you have to boil the water. It's just a thing you have to do, I guess. I don't know.
It is?
Well, that's what I hear.
I know he has this transfer of feeling, you know, for Sherry, and at least we hope that he can hold up very well while she's gone. I do hope that.
Yeah.
I'll try.
Yeah.
So how are you holding up in the weather department? It looks like we have some snow, right?
Well, it's not very close to us yet, but we're expecting it later on tonight. So let's see what it looks like here at the airport. It's going to spring this weekend.
When is spring?
Possibly.
Yeah.
March
21st.
21st.
Yeah.
So we're still...
Yeah, 2 days before my birthday.
Yeah,
By the
we
way.
still got a little ways to go before spring
Yeah,
comes
we do,
in.
usually. I remember when I was a kid, I always had ice storms on my birthday. So, you know, until you're really through with March,
Tell
maybe
you
into
anything
April.
about how you were as a kid?
Well, I was, no. I used to wonder about it, I tell you.
Thought.
But until you get into April, you kind of wonder.
That's right, because we had the blizzard of '93 was just about this time of the year.
We had a big
That's
snow
right.
in April, about at tax time, 3 years ago, I think. So it's still there.
That tells you something.
It's possible.
Thanks, Dan.
Don't know what.
Just ahead in sports, Bluefield is ready to start the state championship run.
Plus, the pick of the Southern Conference is colored green. Woody?
Kevin, it's the color of the target on the thundering herd of Marshall.
May sound like we're going out to the West Coast, but it's a showtime. Not the Lakers, but the Beavers.
But the Beavers, they're getting ready to go tomorrow night. Of course, tonight, sectional basketball action continues all across the Mountain State as the teams face elimination, as it were. Yes, folks, Class Single A and Double A Mountain League. And so hopefully they'll be able to replace a good man, Kevin Ramsey, who, of course, moved on.
What's, speaking of the Canadian Football League, Jay Kelcher, what's the deal with him? Have we
Well,
heard anything?
I haven't heard a word. That means he's not playing a lot.
Well,
But at least he's got a job.
That's a good point.
You know, and
and
that's
Stud's still
And
with the
Stud's still with
Cowboys?
the Dallas Cowboys, absolutely.
Not a bad year for them.
and games tonight in high school basketball playoffs. Tonight through the rest of the week?
Absolutely, Tuesday, all through the week, including Saturday night. Now tonight we'll have the Oceana Mullins contest. That's going to be a great game. And also tonight we'll have highlights from Pineview. That's where Meadowbridge and Marshfork play, and also Montcalm and Big Creek at Bluefield State. Should be a
All
great
over the
evening.
place.
Hard
Absolutely.
to keep track of all this. Thanks,
Holy
Woody.
cow. Grab your cup of coffee, Woody. Time now to check in on the 11 o'clock news.
What's coming up later tonight, Barrett?
Well, Loretta and Kevin, you've heard about using DNA.
And finally tonight, we have just enough time to catch you up on some of the events happening in the area this weekend.
A lot of stuff, too. So if you're looking for something to do, someplace to go, or something to see, here's the After Hours calendar. A footnote to that Eagles concert, got a little info on that. If you're planning on going up there, you better take some cash with you. It's like 80 bucks a ticket for reasonable tickets.
That's right.
The nosebleed section's 40-something, and it's a lottery or something
really?
to that
So there's
effect.
no
I mean,
assurance
you,
you're
yeah,
gonna
you
get
have you get into the lottery just to have a shot at getting a ticket. It's.
I think maybe we'd had better luck, you know, playing Powerball last night.
I am
getting
going to
an
win
Eagles.
Powerball. I'm the eternal optimist, as you heard last night. That's our report for this hour. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you back here at 11. Good night.
It was the first big defeat.